Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanas. This is episode 251, season 11. Today's date is September 2nd, 2023, and welcome to the show. It's a beautiful day today. This is what I'm going to talk about on today's program. I'm going to talk about my memories of Bennigan's restaurants in Chicago, and this is in the 80s and the 90s. The business is still around. I'll explain that further. Also, I will talk about Howard Pontiac car dealership, and that was located in Elmhurst, Illinois. That one's a classic. And so this will be a lot of fun, as I said. So right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Step Saver Floor Cleaner. I remember this. And this commercial is from 1974. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show. Thank you, everyone.
Say, you wouldn't sweep dirt under the rug.
Never.
Or cover up dirt on your kitchen floor.
Never, ever.
That's what you're doing with a Mop and Shine product that builds up.
What?
Switch to Johnson's Step Saver, the Mop and Shine product that doesn't build up. Each new coat of Step Saver dissolves its old coat, floats ground in dirt loose for your mop to pick up, then leaves a fresh, clean shine every time. Try Johnson's Step Saver and end dirty buildup.
Forever.
This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Step Saver Floor Cleaner, Floor Wax. I remember this product very well. There were all kinds of products like that. I used to watch the commercials in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, anything that had to do with cleaning your floor. I remember Mop and Glow, Future, Pine Sol, all those wonderful products. It was Clear with a K, like that. Step Saver, I don't think they make them anymore. I think it stopped probably in the late 80s. I haven't seen it. So that's it. I use Mr. Clean. It's a good product. It's very good. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned that I'm going to talk about my memories of Bennigan's restaurants in Chicago in the 1980s and the 1990s in Chicago. Also, I will talk about Howard Pontiac that was located in Elmhurst, Illinois. Before I get started, I want to start on a sad note. I found out this morning Jimmy Buffett died, the singer. Best known as his songs as Margaritaville and Cheeseburger in Paradise. Oh, that's so sad. I love those songs, especially Margaritaville. I remember when this song came out, I was about 13 years old. I was in 8th grade, and they played this song on the radio all the time on WLS or WFYR, AM 103.5, all day, and it was great. I got sick of it at the time, but I love this song. I really do. It's a classic. It really is. And he also sang another song that a lot of people don't remember. It's Come Monday. That was a great song. I like that. And it wasn't well played. It wasn't well known, but I love the song. But that came out in 1974. But when he hit Margaritaville, that put him on the map like that. Also, Cheeseburger in Paradise. It's a great song. It really was. He became a businessman after that, and his fans were known as Parrot Heads. He was born December 25th, 1946, in Pascagoula, Mississippi. And so he was still touring. As far as I know, he was touring like forever. I guess he got sick. I don't know what really happened, but but he did some acting. He appeared in the 1978 film FM. Remember that? And he appeared in Repo Man in 1984, also in Hook from 1991. So yeah, he did like a cameo and all that. And also he performed on Saturday Night Live in 1978. I remember this show. I remember he was on it. I saw that. He was great. I don't remember what songs he played, but he's a wonderful performer. That's so sad. And when he died, he was 76 years old. I think 76. Look it up. Yeah, he was. That was yesterday. That's so sad. And I just saw that on social media, and everyone was like very shocked, and so sad. Okay. So let's get on with the show, and I will talk right now about Bennigan's restaurants. Now, when I posted this yesterday on my social media accounts, I mentioned that I was going to talk about this restaurant. A lot of people commented. They say, "Oh, it's still here. It's still in Elmhurst, not Elmhurst. Excuse me, Elgin." That is true. It is there is one in Illinois. It's in Elgin, Illinois, and there are others in the United States. So I haven't visited a Bennigan's in a long time, but first I'm going to talk about my memories of this place. Where I first went, and then I'll talk about the locations where they were in Chicago, and then also the menu. Who doesn't want to hear the menu? Okay. So here we go. Let's see. My first memory of going to Bennigan's, let's see. I was job hunting around 1985, 86. I just graduated from DeVry, and I had a job interview out in Oak Brook, Illinois. And that was like around West 22nd Street and Route 83 or something like that. So I forgot what job it was. It was something with computers, and the interview went okay, but I didn't get the job. I had a feeling about that because back then it was so competitive. So, I need pick me up, not a drink, but some lunch, because I was hungry. Because I remember the interview was about 11 o'clock and it lasted about an hour. It was a long time. They asked me a lot of questions and I took a test. Did okay. So I remember seeing the Bennigan sign in Oak Brook Terrace, that borders Oak Brook, when you go west of there. So I said, okay, I'm going to go there. So I went. So I entered the restaurant, and I remember there was a waiter. He had like long hair, very young man, like that. And I told him, "Yeah, would you like welcome to Bennigan's? And then what would you like to order?" And the first time I ordered was a hamburger. And it was the best hamburger I ever ate. It was delicious. I remember it was like thick and it had a lot of red onions, and I don't like tomatoes and all that. The fries were good, and I treated myself dessert. I had the brownie pie. Oh, with the baked brownie with the scoop of ice cream and the chocolate syrup. Oh, I love that. That was delicious. I really did. The most embarrassing thing about going there is I didn't have enough money. I had enough money for my meal, but I didn't tip them. I had a little tip. So I had explained to them, I'm sorry, I didn't have a tip. I didn't have a credit card back then. No, I got a credit card later on. And he seemed disappointed, but he understood, and I explained, I only had like about a couple bucks, but I needed, just in case. I should have brought more money with me beforehand, but he didn't look too happy. So, I just had egg on my face, walked out, So then again, then I went to, so that was my first time at Bennigan's. It was in Oak Brook Terrace. Okay. Next up, let's see. I will talk about the locations of the Bennigan's. Okay, I luckily I found them on the internet, so that's good news like that. Okay, so here we go. So I'm sure there were others in the Chicagoland area, but this is what I found. In the city, there were three of them. There was one on 225 North Michigan Avenue, one at 150 South Michigan, and the other one was on the northwest side at 8420 West Bryn Mawr Avenue. Someone mentioned it was the John Hancock Center. I don't know. Maybe I was close. I have no idea. In the suburbs, they had one in Deerfield, Glenview. They had two in Niles, one 8480 West Gulf Road, and the other one was 5650 West Toohey. And of course, I mentioned the one in Oak Brook Terrace. And let's see what else. There was also one in St. Charles, and also in Woodridge, and also in Calumet City, right near River Oaks Mall. That's what a few people mentioned on when I posted when I was going to announce I was going to talk about Bennigan's on my podcast episode. So that's good. I think I mentioned before, I think there was one in Downers Grove. I'm sure there were others elsewhere, maybe way up north, maybe in the county or, King County or anywhere. Also, there was one in Chicago Ridge, not far from my house. That was at 95th Street and South Ridgeland, right near Chicago Ridge Mall. That one I did go. I went for my brother's birthday, and it was like in the 80s. We didn't live in the area at the time. And we ordered some hamburgers, appetizers. I forgot what appetizers we had. But then when we got the bill, when we told my mom how much we spent, she got furious. Well, she overreacted. Excuse me. So, but it was great. And right now, that's occupied by Miller's. I forgot what's there now. I keep forgetting. Anyway, so that was my second time going. But I've been going to other times in the downtown when I had job interviews. I would stop off at Bennigan's. They were a little expensive, but the food was excellent. That. So I also went to job interviews in the suburbs, and I get hungry and I want to get some lunch. Sometimes I went to McDonald's, sometimes I went to Bennigan, sometimes to Burger King, something nice. But always Bennigan's. I was drawn to that place. I don't know why. It's kind of weird like that. Okay. Before I get started with the menu, I'm going to play a commercial from Bennigan's. This is from 1988. And I remember this commercial very well. It's kind of funny. You can find it on YouTube. It's like a guy, he's at home. There's a cat in the house. He got distracted and he was talking on a landline, like the slimline phone, and it fell in the fish tank. And he needed to get away. So he just decided to go to Bennigan's, meet some friends, and have a good time. That sounds great. Okay, so here's the commercial for Bennigan's Restaurants from 1988. Thank you, everyone.
Got this last picture, and I just...
It's amazing how you can escape from the everyday at Bennigan's.
Hey, what happened to you?
Bennigan's, where you get a taste of a good time even before the food arrives.
Shrimp crossing.
Altogether, it's the kind of escape you could only make at Bennigan's. Your escape from the everyday.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Bennigan's restaurants from 1988. Before I get started on the menu, I forgot to talk about the beginning of the restaurant. It was founded in 1976, and in Atlanta, the man's name was Norman E. Brinker, and then under the restaurant operated. It was a division of Pillsbury until it was bought out by another company, and their headquarters is in Dallas, Texas. And it started. So I remember seeing. He also founded another restaurant called Steak and Nail. Remember that restaurant? I will talk about that someday. With its that was I never went there, so I'll talk about that another time. And and then as time went on, it just closed because I think it filed for Chapter 11. I don't know. There was all. I think that one of the reasons that it's lost popularity, they had the same kind of menu, the same kind of decor. I think it's silly. I mean, I think it's great, but I don't know who thought of that. So they start closing the restaurants like that. And around 2008, they started closing all the restaurants in the United States, which is a shame. And I remember there was one restaurant left in downtown on Michigan Avenue. I went there for a job interview, another one, and it was kind of expensive. That was on Michigan Avenue, but it wasn't one of those. It was not on the location, the Michigan Avenue locations I mentioned before. It was somewhere else, I believe. And right now, there's only one in Illinois. That was in Elgin. And that's located at 495 Airport Road. So if you're in the mood for a hamburger or something to eat, go ahead. They have the same menu. It's still, it's still the same, but it's a little out of my way to go. Wish they had one south. Yeah, so that's great because someone showed me a picture of that on Twitter or X. That he visited there and he ordered the Monte Cristo, and I'll talk about that in a second. And he says the food's the same. It's wonderful. I wish they bring it back. I would bring it back. As for other locations in the United States, there are few in Iowa, a couple in Michigan, Ohio, one in Ohio, but there's a few in Texas. Let's see what else. One in North Dakota. Someone mentioned there was one in Iowa. It's called Bennigan's on the Fly. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe a small one, something like that. I don't know. Okay, so right now I'm going to talk about the menu. So I'll go really quickly. They had crowd pleasers, which is appetizers. Like, for example, what they had was they had buffalo wings, but they didn't have buffalo wings back then when I visited there. They had the potato skins. They were delicious like that. I've had them too. And also they had the broccoli bites. Oh, yeah, that's like with broccoli and cheese and bacon. That sounds good. I love broccoli. A lot of people don't, but I do. And also another appetizer that was delicious was nachos. People love the nachos there. It was loaded with cheese and all that. Ooh, that sounds good. I never had the nachos. I'm not much of a nacho person, but if I went with someone and someone ordered a nacho, platter. Yeah, I'll have it in. Sounds good. But sometimes I'm kind of fussy because I don't like hot stuff or I don't like for example salsa. I'm not a big salsa person like that. I remember I ordered mozzarella sticks one time when I went with a couple people, and it was good. It was delicious. It really was. And let's see. Of course, they had their burgers. You know, I just had a regular burger. The classic. That was good, like that. Let's see what else. The usual salads and soups and all that. It's an Irish menu. I failed to mention that. Okay. And they also had like fish and ribs and pasta and all that. Let's see what else. Also, they had the Monte Cristo, not Crisco. And a lot of, I never had a Monte Cristo. I don't know why. I guess I'm just a hamburger person. But what a Monte Cristo is, a lot of people don't know that. It's honey wheat bread layered with tender ham, roasted turkey, Swiss and American cheese, and it's battered dip. Gently fried and coated with powdered sugar and served with red raspberry preserves for dipping. Ooh. I guess that sounds good. Yeah, that really is. And so that is the one sandwich a lot of people miss, and they loved. They really did. They really loved. And they also like the French onion soup also, like that. And let's see. They had alcoholic drinks, beer, wine. They had a kids menu. Also the desserts. They had two of the famous desserts. The Death by Chocolate. Ooh, that's good. I had that at a wedding one time. That was delicious. And also brownie bottom pie, which I mentioned before. I think I rephrased that. So it was a fudge brownie with vanilla ice cream top, covered with hot fudge with whipped cream and cherry. That was delicious. That really was. Oh, that's so good. Okay. So a lot of people still miss this restaurant. I don't think it'll come back. Who knows? But there's a lot. The funny thing about it is they're in Latin America, located there. I don't know why. That's kind of strange, like that. Because they're in. There's one. Believe it or not, there's one in Cyprus, Greece. A couple of them there. I go, wow. Oh no, three of them. And there are a few in Mexico, Dubai, Qatar. And Bahrain. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. So once this podcast is published, you can still comment on your favorite memories of Bennigan's restaurants. Okay. All right. So right now I'm going to talk about Howard Pontiac in Elmhurst. Who can not forget this place and the commercials? Now, I don't know much about how it got started, but we all know about the commercials that featured his mother. I don't know if that's his real mother. I have no idea. No problem. I have no idea about that. So it started as the owner's name was Howard Zazove or Zazovi. It's spelled Zazove, and that was named after him. And he started the car business in 1945. And so he probably worked with some people, and then he opened his first dealership in 1963. I don't know where it was. But in 1975, he opened Howard Pontiac. And the location was, of course, at 364 West Grand Avenue in Elmhurst. And in 1978, he started the television commercial. He started the campaign. And it was the Howard's Mother Loves You television campaign. And the tradition was they gave customers chocolate chip cookies when they purchased the car. Now, I don't know who made the cookies there. I don't know if it was Howard's mother. I don't think so. And they've been doing that for many years. And that's how a lot of people remember. They remember the chocolate chip cookies, for the promotion when you buy a new car, and also the commercials that feature Howard's mother. And they were very entertaining and very hilarious. And they had this old lady sometimes wearing a hat, or she was in the kitchen, or she was in her living room, and she was worried about her son. You can still watch the commercials on YouTube. They are there, and there must have been a lot of them, a dozen of them all through those years like that. In 1986, Howard's oldest son, Stephen, took over the dealership, and he's still running it. But then Pontiacs went out of business, and now it's in 1998. The GMC trucks were added, the SUVs and all that, and now it's called Howard Buick GMC. And so that was they remodeled the place, and everything's fine. But it's kind of sad because it was so. Because Pontiac's gone, Howard's not running it. The president, he's not running it, and mother's gone too. Like that. So anyway, here's a commercial of Howard, Pontiac, and Elmhurst from May 1988, featuring Howard's mother with her cookies. So sit back and relax and enjoy. Thank you, everyone.
My Howard said, "Seen the new Grand Prix, Mom? It's car of the year. Let's celebrate with double batches of cookies." I said, "Howard, your customers can benefit from your huge selection of Grand Prix. You can promise great deals and same-day delivery. But our deal is still one batch per Grand Prix. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, Howard." Howard Pontiac, Elmhurst on Grand Avenue.
Okay, everyone, I'm Beck. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Howard, Pontiac, and Elmhurst on Grand Avenue. She always had that at the end of the commercial. Sometimes she wore a hat. Always wore a hat on the commercial. You know what the funny thing is? I showed this to my mother the other day, and I asked her, I said, "Mom, do you remember Howard Pontiac?" She goes, "Yeah, I remember that old lady with the cookies." She's telling me this in Greek. It's hilarious. Oh, that was great, but it's one of those classic Chicago commercials. And someone mentioned, why don't you do one in Fensel Tufo with the monsters with the monsters in the Midway? No, not monsters in the Midway. It's the monsters in there. I think I will do that one someday. We'll see. That'd be fun. Okay. All right, so that's it for this show. I'll do a recap of what I said, what I talked about. Excuse me. I talk about my memories of Bennigan's restaurants in Chicago in the 1980s and the 1990s. Also, I talked about Howard Pontiac in Elmhurst on Grand Avenue with Howard's mother. Okay. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. I received an email that Stitcher is no longer around. I don't know what's going to happen to that. No clue. Also, Amazon Music. Also be posted on my YouTube channel, Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. You just please subscribe. You'll get a notification. And also be posted on my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also Threads. You can copy the link and you can listen. And I think it'll be on my blog, vanchicagoland.blog. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. I don't know if I'll do another podcast episode tomorrow. We'll see. It depends. Uh, Starting today or maybe tomorrow, it's going to get hot for the next few days, which I'm not looking forward to it because I despise it. I don't like hot weather. It's just September. I wish it would go away, but I can't tolerate it because I remember last week when it was 100 degrees and I was in the basement, next to the door, and I could feel the heat coming in, and I got dizzy. I don't know, that's weird like that. And it's like, oh, no way I'm going out. You have to lie down in a cool room. Maybe if you have a headache, take some Tylenol, just relax, drink some water. I probably had a touch of heat stroke, even though I was inside. It's very dangerous. So everyone, please be careful. Please be careful. Also, one thing before I go, I want to mention, yesterday was the start of Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Yeah, so I let everyone know on social media that, that if you don't feel right, please go see a doctor. Make an appointment. Go see him. It could save your life. It might get worse if you neglect it. Luckily I went. So when I went for checkups, then that was like about almost 4 years ago that I did that. And just be careful. Please just go see a doctor. Okay, so this is Pete Castaños, your host of Vanishing Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Hope to hear from you soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. We don't know. It depends. So here's bye-bye for me, and here's a little traveling music from Ray Rayner saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
Screwball peanut butter whiskey? Why the hell not? A little salty, a little sweet, a little savory, and always smooth. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey that's unexpectedly delicious. Visit screwballwhiskey.com to learn more. That's Screwball with a K. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Screwball Spirits, LLC, New York, New York.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.